Hello, Empowering Communities Project. This is Sarah, and I thought it was a great idea that we have a look over the trades we took yesterday. And we'll have a little look at the charts. First thing we're going to do is go into Forex Factory, because as traders, we not only do charting analysis, but we also do fundamental analysis, which consists a lot about what's going on economically in the world. And there is a site called forexfactory.com, and we can see the news and what will affect us as traders in advance, so we can err with caution or trade the news if it's good news. So the first thing you're going to do if you are deciding to have a look at Forex Factory is you're going to go into the left-hand top of the screen and click this box here. And you are going to make sure that you are on the right time zone so that you get the news times accurately. So just click on the time, and I'm on the correct time zone because I've already been on here today and synchronized, and then you just save the setting. Usually it will put your time zone in that box, and you just check that it's correct and save it. Once you've done that, click calendar, and this will give you the news for the week. So red folders are caution. I don't trade the red folders, and I will close any trades. Like, for example, Monday was the euro at 7:30 in the evening, so I wouldn't have traded the euro at that time. Orange folders don't necessarily mean bad news. So let's have a look. On Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the morning, so that's already passed, we had an orange folder on the US dollar. And to check the news, you just click on it, and then you click on this little folder here, and that tells you what the news is. So that's Forex Factory. Now, let's have a look at, so there was no major news today. Let's have a look at the currencies we're trading. So first up, I've got here AUD CHF. Now I've already marked up TP1, TP2. I'm just going to take this away for now. I've already marked up TP1, TP2 and TP3 and the stop loss out. This is a daily chart. I always look at the higher time frame first. Now the first thing I want to point out is that we have a head and shoulder pattern on the daily. So as traders, we often trade the news, we trade patterns, we trade support and resistance. I trade the head and shoulders. I have traded the head and shoulders quite often, and this is a head and shoulder pattern. So you can see the head here and the two shoulders here and here, and we have broken the neckline. So that is an important, when you're trading your head and shoulders, an entry point would be once you've broken the neckline and you've come up and retested. And that's exactly what's happened here. The neckline is represented with the purple line here. We've broken the neckline, we've come up and we've retested that area. So I am pretty confident with that trade. That is the AUD CHF. And then another thing we've got happening here is we have a resistance area. So as I said before, as traders, we trade trends, we trade support and resistance, we trade patterns. This is a resistance area. So you can see that prices come up to this area and rejected. It's come up again and rejected 2 more times. So that has already happened previously here. It's come up and rejected. This trade could come back up and touch that zone again, though I don't think our stop loss would be hit, but it is possible. Nothing's impossible with trading. But as you can see, we've already tested that neckline. I think we're going to see some downward action on AUD CHF. So let's have another look. I'm just going to check one more thing on that currency pair before we go. Yep, it's fine. Okay. Now, let's have a look at GBPUSD. Okay, GBPUSD, we can see that we are playing in a channel right here. We're hitting the top, which is our resistance, and the bottom, which is our support. And we're going back and forth with this area. So it looks like a good trade. The only thing that has me concerned is the divergence on the daily chart. Divergence is when the RSI is going one way and the currency is going the other. So I'll show you what that is here. Okay, we can see that on the RSI we have an upward motion, and on the trade, I might have to change colour, we have a downward motion. Just change that colour so it stands out. Okay, and that is divergence, and the divergence on the daily indicates that the currency is going to bounce out of this and go up. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's now. This is the daily time frame. Why it doesn't concern me so much at the moment is because we did not get an engulfing candle on the daily. So you can see yesterday, this candle took 1 day to make. That candle did not overbear the candle prior. It's still a lot smaller. So I do still think we're going to get some downward action on the GBPUSD. But that being said, the British pound, in my experience in trading it, it can move up and down a lot in big areas. So it could go up 50 pips, then down 50 pips. I've usually used it as a scalp. But yeah, at the moment it looks good. Okay, let's have a look at AUD CHF. Okay. Oh, we looked at that. That was the head and shoulders. So now EUR USD. Okay. Now this is the daily time frame. I can see that we're on a downtrend. So I've marked that out with the yellow trend line, that we have a resistance area. So prices come up, drops down, come up again, drop down, and it's just keeping repeating that process. And you can see when it drops that it drops a fair distance, and that would encompass our TP1, TP2 and TP3. So we've already hit this area. Our last daily candle was still bearish, even though it had some rejection. That's fine. The body of the candle was still larger than the previous two candles. So I'm pretty confident in that trade as well. So there's a breakdown of our last 3 trades using trading view charts. And if you have any questions, just reach out in the chat.